When life brings the blah, add more Yabba Dabba Do with some tasty Fruity Pebbles. Early morning meeting? Blah. Someone brought the pebbles. Yabba Dabba Do. Run errands? Blah. Head to the store for Pebbles. Yabba Dabba Do. Fruity Pebbles. Less blah. More Yabba Dabba Do. Pick up Pebbles cereal today. Yabba Dabba Do and the Flintstones and all related characters and elements. Copyright and trademark Hanna-Barbera.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, Lorcana is coming to Disney California Adventure. Disneyland is busy being a movie set. Magic Keys are off sale.
Enhancements are coming to 2 classic attractions. Changes all over downtown Disney. We celebrate our 400th episode and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please, lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at DLWeekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at DLWeekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of August 6th, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tig Bushman. We would like to thank everyone who supports us for the full 400 episodes that we've done. This week, we'd like to give a special shout out to Sean M. for becoming a new supporter, and Kristen M., Andrea M., and Tara F. for continuing your support. A couple of those folks have been supporting us for a very long time.
Yes.
If you would like to help us support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only Discord chat, and a bunch of other perks, head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now, let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Weekly tiers who are big Lorcana fans can soon participate in a collection quest at Disney California Adventure. The Beast Library area of the animation building will host the quest starting on August 29th. Illumineers will be given a specific quest and will need to assemble the cards to complete the mission. Players may need to trade cards to complete their missions. The quest is not limited to the Animation Academy. That's just where the quest will be activated and begin for players. Players who complete their quests can head to Off the Page to get a Belle Accomplished Mystic promo card while supplies last.
So I don't have a ton to say about this, but I want to ask you about this.
First of all, can we just celebrate the fact that the Beast Library, which was closed to the public and kind of became like not really a backstage space, but it became just a special use case. You couldn't go visit the Beast Library as a regular guest. So A, let's celebrate the fact that they're bringing that back. And B, I think this is such a fun and unique combo that they're doing. So Lorcana just celebrated their 2-year anniversary, and this is a Disney trading card game. So think of things like, I don't know, like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering maybe would be another one. And you kind of get to collect these cards. The artwork on them is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and it's just a fun game to play. So I think this is really neat. So how this works is this will be coinciding with the release of the newest edition or the newest set, which is called Fabled, and you get to get a free promo pack, and then it's almost think like pin trading, but kind of like cards, I guess would be a good way of saying it. So you get a promo pack, so you don't know what cards are in there, and it varies, but to complete your quest, you need to, collect 5 specific cards. They haven't released what it is exactly just yet. So then it encourages you to either, make new friends, trade with other people. You can trade while you're in the Beast Library space, but you can trade with other people if you're standing in line and you notice, hey, they're also completing, trying to complete the quest. Can we help each other out? So I think that's so fun.
I have a question. So the card trading, is this like pin trading? Like, will you get your card back, or are you trading and then the other person now owns your card?
No. It's like pin trading. So when you trade,
and it's done.
Boop, boop. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was curious if this was oh, you have that card. Can I borrow it to finish this and then give it back to you?
I mean, maybe you could do it that way, but I feel like trying to do that with random people in the park would be really difficult.
Right.
To get
I'm
your
just mean
cards
in the
back.
library, if you're just kind of around that section.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I was curious about that.
I guess I don't know how the quest works to know if you have to, like... It doesn't say you have to turn your cards in to get the promo card.
Sure.
So I guess I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. They haven't... It's not active and it's not going on just yet. So all we have is kind of the generic information of what it's going to be. But I just think it's so fun. So when you go, so it's called a collector's quest. When you go in, you're going to be guided through the world of Lorcana. So if you've never played Lorcana, that's totally fine. They're going to introduce you to the world. You do not have to know anything about it before doing this activity. You'll receive the booster pack of cards, so it's going to be specifically the new set coming out called Fabled. It's a booklet. You need 4 cards that you need to collect in order to complete the quest. So you're going to be I just think it's so fun. It's something different to do in the parks. It's a good way to promote Lorcana. It's a good way, like, for if people might be interested in it but don't really know anything about it. I think it's a really good introduction for those people, and it's very low stakes, right? Because they're giving you a complimentary pack to go do this in, and then you get to keep them afterwards. So I think that's really, really fun.
Well, I'm glad that it's doing it, and I hope it'll get more people into playing Lorcana, because I feel like maybe it's just because, like, I'm not in the world of Lorcana right now. Do you think it's kind of the fever pitch of it launching has kind of died down?
I think what could have happened, which is kind of what happened with me, I'm not a card, like, I've never done a trading card play type game before. So I really don't know how to build a deck and how to do all that stuff. So for me, it was really fun and I was really excited about it. But then, like, as more sets came out and I had to, like, try and figure out how to build decks to make it work against other people and how the cards could work together and if they work together and all that kind of stuff, it got a little, like, for me, a little overcomplicated.
Sure.
My brain just wasn't clicking with it.
You like the simplicity in the beginning.
Yes. I liked when it was a little bit more, simple, I guess that's a good way of saying it. Because I got, like a lot of people, I'm sure, got really attached to cards because of the character or the song or the film that it was from, and not necessarily because it was a good card or not a good card.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe that's happened for other folks too, that, like myself, were just big Disney fans. Sure. And, like, got, like, really tried to get into this, but then it got a little too much, and so So I don't know. I have no idea.
It's kind of a balance that they're trying to strike, right? Because you got all the Disney fans who just want to be involved in this because it's something Disney.
It's fun, yeah.
And it's fun, but then you've got all the card players who want it to be, like, complex and be challenging.
Yeah, and they do. They've got, like, different competitions, like worldwide competitions that people can go through and all sorts of stuff. So it can be really complicated, or you can keep it really simple. And I just was having a hard time keeping it simple for myself. I need to get back into it. But yeah, and then now there's, like, again, I am not super into all of the things right now, but it sounds like they, like, shift things out. So then, like, old cards, you can't maybe necessarily play with old cards anymore.
Oh, that's no fun.
So then you got to make sure you're staying on top of that kind of stuff. So,
I don't like that type of stuff because it's like you've spent money on it.
In, like, competition. So, like, you can play it at home. But if you did, like, competition, then you can't.
But isn't that part of the fun? Like, you really liked going to Lorcana League on, like, Thursdays
or
whatever.
can. Yeah, you can still maybe play them in, like, a local league, but not, like, an actual competition.
Oh, well.
Either way.
Well, a new Oswald the Lucky Rabbit television show is coming to Disney Plus with some filming taking place at Disneyland. Jon Favreau, along with the filming crew, have been seen around Disneyland filming. The show will feature live action and animation, kind of like Roger Rabbit. Some of the locations shooting has occurred at include Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, Jungle Cruise, and It's a Small World. Filming is expected to continue in the park for a few weeks.
This is so interesting. I just was watching Fresh Bake's newest video this week. It was like his construction update video. And he just happened to see, like, Jon Favreau just kind of strolling down Main Street with other people. And it was funny because he was just... David didn't approach him. He just, like was in the camera view, I guess would be a good way of saying it. And it was so interesting seeing Jon Favreau in the middle of Main Street. Yes, with a group around him, not like security or anything, but he was just standing in the middle of Main Street with his cell phone, taking photos down Main Street, just like
He's also a fan.
Yep, just like, us average Disney fans would do. And then the other thing that I found even more interesting was the amount of guests that were all around him but had no idea who it was that they were walking past while this, gentleman was just taking photos in the parks. I thought that was such a cool and interesting thing to see. If you're a local, I would love to know your thoughts on this, and like if you've seen some of the filming happening. Agatha, who played Agatha? Katherine
Hahn
is also part of this series, and she's been in the parks filming too.
Yeah. And some people who are going to be part of the live action, so Deadline, which reports on a bunch of like movie stuff, said the cast includes kid actors Ravi Cabot-Conyers, who was in Skeleton Crew and was the voice of one of the characters in Encanto, Michelle Harris from Raven's Home or Mixed-ish, and Ryder Allen from The Penguin and Palmer were also spotted in the park, and then Katherine Hahn, like we said, along with Jon Favreau. So I'm intrigued by what this is going to be and how much Disneyland is going to be featured in it, and I think I'm just going to watch it for the sole fact that Disneyland was part of it, right?
I'm so curious about this, and the fact that they're doing it's not like it was I guess it made more sense to me when I thought it was just one day of filming, but the fact that this is taking, it's been several days now since before we recorded this episode, and it's announced that it's going to be, a while still yet, is just wild. Because, you're in the height of summer having all of this filming going on too. So I'm very curious how this is going to come out. I'm also just interested in just overall, like, if you're in the park while this is going on, is it intrusive? Disruptive? Is it like, do you not really even notice what's going on? Because you'd almost think, that they're obviously not going to close the parks to do this, but you'd almost think like that they'd maybe do it before the park opened when it was light, but then that would stretch it out even longer. And there's got to be all sorts of things.
I haven't heard
as
people
you walk in.
complaining online or anything about it. So I think they're just happy to see something. Like, I think people, it's kind of like when they film like the Christmas specials and stuff. Sure. Like, it's kind of disruptive, but at the same time, like, you don't care because it's so cool that they're doing, you know what I mean? It's like neat.
Yeah.
Like the inconvenience you might experience is overruled by how neat you think it is to see something in production, and maybe see somebody like Jon Favreau or Katherine Hahn or any of these other actors. Because I know, like, for us, that's how we felt when we were there and things were happening. It was like, oh, is that like when we were there for the 70th, there was like stuff filming up by the castle and everything, which, by the way, we didn't put it in the news, but did you see that you can like rent that spot for a wedding now?
Yes,
they have all types of new wedding things.
There's a couple new in-park wedding venues, as we just do a little side news quest here, 2 of which are in the new Magnolia Gardens park area. So one can have the backdrop where the mansion's behind you, and the other has, like, I don't know, the gazebo or little bandstand thing at Tiana's Palace is kind of the backdrop. So it depends on which way you face. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, both of these in the mock-up shots. But there's a little, so if you're looking up the castle, to the left of the castle, I don't know, maybe you've never noticed, but there is a paved area within the gardens.
Area.
Kind of, cobblestone. That's a good way of saying it. And a lot of times when they're doing some of their, like Bob Iger in front of the castle type shots, that's the spot. And that's now a wedding venue. So you can rent that space and have Sleeping Beauty Castle as your backdrop. You would have always been able to rent the space right in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle, but minimum for that's $100,000. Whereas the minimums for these other spots, it's a much shorter guest list. You're only allowed like up to like a dozen guests, I think.
You and up to 10 guests.
So 12 total people.
Crazy.
And it does have a lower minimum. It's still, higher than if you don't get married in the parks. But some of these come with really cool perks. Like, I want to say one of them, I don't remember if it's the Magnolia Park gazebo or what they're calling the Park Terrace. The Park Terrace is the one that has the mansion in the background. Oh, there it is. So the one with the mansion as your background, the wedding ceremony happens there, and then it includes a grand exit on the Disneyland Railroad following the ceremony. The other one includes, again, you get to ride aboard.
So same thing.
Yep, ride aboard the Disneyland Railroad afterwards. So those 2 you get to take a spin on the railroad. The one in front of the castle, though, This is wild to me because it comes with a dedicated photographer that is included with it. Some of the florals are with it. And then I think you get some time to do a couple photos too on Main Street, I think was what that was. Anyways, very, very cool. And of course, being a former Disneyland wedding person, I was really excited to see those. And I was like, dang, if those would have been options when I was planning my wedding. I don't know which first.
You'd have to make 30 people,
first,
so
yes.
good luck.
Yeah, that I have to cut my guest list down. So first, yes, I would want to do it. But second, which one would you choose? They're also.
Do we know how much they were? Do you know how much they are?
I don't remember what the minimums were on them.
But you've already seen.
They were less than the big Grand Castle one.
Well, I mean, anything was probably less than that.
Yeah. Anyways, but I was like, man, how cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you're waiting to get a Magic Key to Disneyland, the time has unfortunately passed. Magic Key sales are once again locked and not able to be purchased for new key holders. Existing Magic Key holders can renew their passes still. Who knows when they'll go on sale again, as they have gone back and forth over the last couple of years, but I'm sure at some point they will be back on sale again.
Oh, yeah. It always comes back around.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know when. We've actually had that conversation about when our passes come up, because I think they expire, and was that next month? So we're trying to decide if we're going to renew or if we're going to get some, because we don't really know what our schedules
and maybe
are.
Get them later.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's for us. But for you guys, I mean, it's not a bad year to have a key, right? With the 70th anniversary and all the stuff going on. There is a story later on that makes it a little bit more valuable if you're into Lightning Lane. But we'll get to that in a little bit later. Well, there are currently 2 attractions down in Fantasyland with some enhancements on the way. Storybook Land Canal Boats and Casey Junior Circus Train are both down for refurbishment, with permits from the city of Anaheim allowing for the installation of a new 10-foot maximum height show element and 2 aluminum tube trellis arches. No official word on what could be coming, but SnackChat thinks that it could be a tangled tower and a floating lantern archway.
Could be. So David from Fresh Baked did a really good job covering this. He tried going on Dumbo to see if you could see anything more in Dumbo. He was trying to see what you could see from the ground, but it's crazy. There are construction walls all
behind
around
the construction walls.
Yeah,
even.
there's so many. There is no peeking, and the fact that they have both of these areas boxed off, they kind of think of it as like a giant. If you had a giant box around Storybook Land Canal Boats and Casey Jr., but then you kind of had a little dip or divot in that box for Dumbo. But it's huge. It's a very, very large footprint. They have scrim and scaffold around Monstro the Whale. David's, what he could try and tell, he's reporting that he thinks that there's also, so there's the construction walls, but he thinks there's also scaffolding around the track for Casey Jr. I'm curious. I'm super curious what's going on. But it's obviously something is happening that would impact both. So something's happening that is in the actual scenes. So maybe we're getting a new scene. Maybe they're updating a current scene. Because the tube archway things, maybe they're just adding a couple more arches to the Jasmine Arch, the Jasmine Arch section. I don't know. Or maybe it's a new
it.
Yeah, or redoing it, or maybe it's a new one. I don't know. But yeah, there's no kind of real peeking in to see what's going on. So my curiosity's piqued because there's really, SnackChat just has, their thoughts, but there's really nothing kind of hinting towards anything.
See, I wonder about the archways though, because if you were
there's scaffold around the archway.
Supporter
right
of a certain level, we're streaming and recording this episode, I'm showing part of David's Fresh Baked video right now, and there's scaffolding around the existing archways that there. So it's could they be replacing some of those?
Or is that scaffolding in? No, that's around.
That's around it, because when you go past the turret here, you'll see there's even more down the rest of it. So I don't know. I mean, there's a jillion different things that it could be. But we'll just have to wait and see what ends up being the case. He also showed there was one clip that I thought was pretty cool. There was somebody up on top washing or pressure washing Monstro, which I think is totally needed. But there's just a ton of stuff going on, and
I'm thinking
I'm so glad
Monstro might be getting some paint too, because otherwise I don't know. Because pressure washing, that's quick and easy. They could do that over, outside of park operation hours.
Yeah, but they're pressure washing to get the dirt off so they can paint and polish all that stuff.
And then the other thing too is there's scrim and scaffold. David couldn't tell if it's like in front, like, so if you're on the storybook canal boat side, he couldn't tell if it was in front of the, like, where they have storybook in the landscaping, like if it was that part, or if it was Scrim and Scaffold on, again, the tracks.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm just glad they're doing something with it, right? Because, like, it's a classic attraction. It's good that it's getting some updates. And I don't think we've had, what was the last update? Was adding Frozen, right? Arendelle got added to the scenes. So, you know, I feel like it could be time to add something or change something or freshen something up.
I was trying to think with, along with my chat's thought of, okay, a Tangled Tower. I'm like,
where would that be?
Yeah.
I feel like a spot that is prime for them doing something with is that section where it's all like the patchwork quilt. That's a large section of real estate that they could rejigger a little bit.
Sure.
Like at least part of it, or put it like up on the hill or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Depending. But I don't know. I mean, like, Imagineers are creative. They'll figure it out.
That's true. Well, there's a lot going on in downtown Disney. Sunglass Icon and Sephora have closed, likely, though, just for refurbishments. The Lego store has some external construction of new Lego elements in the works. Currently, the Beauty and the Beast sculptures have been removed. We don't know if they're being refreshed or if they're being replaced with something new. Time will tell. The old ESPN Zone building continues its transformation for Lululemon, a boba shop called Bopo Go, and possibly an unconfirmed Funko store. Earl's Sandwich has once again remained open past the closing date in the old La Brea Bakery area, which is pushing Portos further down the line.
Yeah, this is interesting. Let's start with the top. It's interesting to me that there's a couple of stores like closing for refurbishment. Obviously, this could mean, you know, they just want to refresh and it's a decent time. Apparently, summer's not the time anymore or something, which is interesting. I'm very excited about the updates to the Lego store because some of those were looking faded. I mean, the sun kills everything.
Some of those they all, to me, the one I don't want, I have a thing for dragons. As I'm sitting here, as we're recording this and I'm wearing my Murphy ears, that's the one thing I'm like, I don't care what you do, just please just refresh the dragon, because she's so cool hanging off the side of that building.
I agree. And since this all happened, there's a bunch more Disney stories that have been told, so there could be different Disney Lego outside of it. So I'm excited to see that because they did the inside. Why, not do the outside? I'm not as critical as some people online about the re-look of the ESPN Zone. I think that it looks way better like this than it did previously, that brick, whatever. And at least they're finally doing something with it, right? So it's going to fit in with that mid-century modern look. I don't even know what to say about Earl of Sandwich.
What do you mean? So, okay, I think this is good news for Earl because I don't think they're gonna ever really have to use the little temporary trailer thing that they have parked down by the old ESPN Zone and by the Star Wars Trading Post.
They've been using it off.
It's open. Yeah, it is open. So you can get Earl of Sandwich on both ends of downtown Disney currently. But I think this is really good news for Earl because then they can just, hopefully, this was extended enough that they maybe will be able to just be in the new building and not have the awkward displacement time to try and figure out. But I'm curious what is going on with Portos, though, because that seems like they keep pushing it back, pushing it out, pushing it back. It is a big project. We've talked about what the footprint of that area is going to be, and it's much, much more large than what that building currently is. So I don't know.
What do you think of the mid-century modern refresh they did on the outside?
I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Does that make sense? I think it blends in a little bit better. Could they have done something more interesting? Sure. But it's not the best thing they've ever done, and it's not the worst thing they've ever done.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just glad they did something with it, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, and depending on what it is, because looking at that angle of it, you've got the corner that's kind of metallic-y and kind of swooped. It's like a semicircle. It's where they've been putting backdrops for different events and having photo spots there. That doesn't feel like it fits. But if you're gonna maybe do Funko, they could theme that super cool and have giant size Funko characters doing something on that portion of the building. But as it is now, it that's a little odd to me, but the sides, they do look better.
Yeah. A previous DL Weekly guest was asked by Walt Disney Imagineering to create a painting for Disneyland's 70th anniversary. Eric Robeson, who we spoke to back on episodes 302 and 303, if you have not listened to that interview, I would suggest going and listening to it, added a lot of parts of Disneyland to the painting to celebrate 70 years of Disneyland. The painting features Walt and Mickey, Sleeping Beauty Castle with fireworks, Matterhorn Mountain, Jungle Cruise, the Mark Twain Riverboat, Haunted Mansion, and so much more. To see the painting, check out the link we have in the show notes. In addition, it's just so cool that we had somebody on that was able to do that. And Walt Disney Imagineering were the ones who commissioned this, but then they donated it to the Disneyland Resort.
I love it. First of all, I really, really like Eric's style in how he takes on things, and it's like it's always like bright, fun, and colorful, and it like makes things like electric and alive feeling, I guess would be. I don't know how to describe it, but I love his style. The only thing I wish that this was like a print so that I could have one at home, because I just really enjoy this so much. But it's just so great because you've got the castle with the fireworks, and like Tag mentioned, there's just all sorts of little like pieces of Disneyland kind of sprinkled throughout, but it's not, I don't know, it's done in such a way that it's not like too much, it's just enough. I don't know. I really, really like it.
Yeah, I think it's done really well. I feel like at some point they'll have a print of this that you can get, maybe at one of the print-on-demand kiosks or something, but it looks cool. I'm excited to go and try to find this. It looks like it's in the Disneyland Hotel, maybe, or something. I'm not sure exactly, or maybe in the Opera House.
Yeah, this is
hard
like,
to tell,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't know where this photo was taken. So there's a photo. This must have been like the ceremony when they like accepted the gift kind of thing, and I don't know. Maybe it almost looks like maybe it's the Golden Horseshoe because you've got like the curtain there.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Wood floor.
Wood floor. There's a like gold curtain with like red curtain accents. So I'm not sure if this is somewhere that you can see it or if it's somewhere backstage type thing.
Yeah,
that's not available to guests. But I love it. I really, really love it.
Me too.
Well, an annual fundraiser took place this week that helped to raise funds for the Children's Hospital of Orange County. The 2025 Chalk Walk in the Park started dark and early on August 3rd. I like how it's dark and early, not bright and early.
Oh, yeah.
Walkers retreated to Disneyland's 70th hot air balloon in the hub and DJ Wendy hosting opening ceremonies. A lot of characters who are not normally seen in the parks were on hand to cheer on the walkers. Miko from Pocahontas, White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and some regular characters from Star Wars, Toy Story, and more.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I think Teresa and I will try eventually to get to the parks for, because there is just... I mean, you get to get in before the park, before the sun even comes up, and you get to walk around all over both parks and downtown Disney, and it's for a good cause, and you get to see a bunch of characters, and it's not a run, so it's not like a Run Disney thing or whatever. Everybody can kind of participate, and it's just a great event. And I've always heard so many good things about this.
Yes.
And the fact that Disney supports it and encourages it with all the stuff that they do, I think is amazing. And man, this 70th hot air balloon, I hope I get a chance to see it during the 70th sometime.
I know. They don't have any sort of like schedule. It has been traveling around the country though, but there isn't really a like schedule that just anybody can know where it is and go check it out. They're using it, I think, like for more like promotional type things, but it's very, very cool. It's the balloon itself is beautiful, and I'm sure like just seeing the photos, it glows. Really, really nice. It's got all the fun 70th colors. I'm curious what they're going to do with the balloon after the 70th anniversary. Fun fact, if you're wondering why I'm so focused on the hot air balloon, growing up, my dad was the announcer for our local hot air balloon, and he became a pilot, and we actually owned a hot air balloon. I almost became a hot air balloon pilot at one point in my life too. So I have a deep history with ballooning. To me, I just think that's extra cool that they've got this 70th anniversary hot air balloon, and all I'm thinking is, what a lucky person that got to be chosen to go tour around for Disney doing hot air balloon things. Like, how cool is that? But anyways, off topic, sorry.
I just love all the characters that they had, and as you walk around the park, you just got to see everybody. They had Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen, and of course Red and Jack Sparrow. There was Woody and Buzz. and Aladdin and Jasmine, like just
And then in
all types of
DCA, they
characters.
had all sorts of people, too. So you had different Avengers, you had different citizens of Cars Land parked cheering people on from Cars Land. But it looks like there's different little live entertainment things, too. You had some group that was up on the Hungry Bear barbecue, like up on the, I don't know, the eating place. That's kind of like the, I don't want to say patio, but kind of like the balcony almost when you're
Sure.
walking down below it. And then in DCA, I don't remember what this group was called, but it was basically like custodial cast members that were also percussionists and used different things like buckets and garbage cans as their drums.
Yeah.
And they were doing like a little fun thing there.
Oh, look, they had anger out there.
Oh, there's even a special spot for magic key holders. It looks like such a fun, like chill, just happy event.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Look, they had Chippendale in their Rescue Rangers outfit.
Rangers.
How awesome.
Looks like the finish line party party was in downtown Disney too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely something on the bucket list to go
Mm-hmm.
check out in the future for sure. Well, Magic Key holders, there's an upcoming discount to be aware of from August 13th through August 18th. Lightning Lane Multi-Pass will be 50% off. The offer is valid only for Magic Key holders and is, of course, subject to availability.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to use the Lightning Lane service and you're a Magic Key holder, why not get it at a 50% discount for that week or
Yeah.
less than a week? But
Yeah, just a fun, like, quick little perk for Magic Key holders. They have run other opportunities or discounts in the past for Magic Key holders. I want to say it was only like 25% off. So this is a great deal. This makes me feel like, remember Max Pass?
Yep.
When it was like $10. This is like a throwback to those times.
I mean, it's still $16.
Yeah, but
starting
better
at.
than 32.
Yeah.
Anyways, fun perk. If you are a Magic Key holder, make sure you're either following Disneyland Magic Key on Instagram or checking your Disneyland app to see what cool fun perks they've got cooked up and in store for you. Because they like to do these little like sprinkles of magic every once in a while. Sometimes it's giveaways, sometimes it's extra discounts, sometimes it's, I don't know, like cool hangout spots. Like when we were there, they had a Paint the Night poster giveaway.
Yep.
And they also had
Which
a
is
bunch of
awesome.
fun photo spots that we could check out. Plus, you got a frozen treat. It was either a Mickey premium bar or you could get like an Outshine fruit bar
Yeah.
while you're back there too. So that was very, very fun.
Your body is brilliant. Nature's Bounty has a bounty of solutions to help you thrive, supporting your systems from your head to your heels. Nature's Bounty High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate supports heart, bone, nerve, and muscle health, while just one hair growth capsule a day helps grow thicker, fuller hair. Delicious new Nature's Bounty Probiotic Gummies contain prebiotics and postbiotics, supporting gut health, regularity, and immune health. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Learn more at naturesbounty.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Yoo-hoo! Hello, everybody! It's me, Heimlich. My stomach is so empty. Hey, help me to go find something to eat. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Well, in case you thought we forgot, for this week's Snack Chat, we're covering the other foodie guide that was released when we were
Yeah, it was
out in
released.
California. And this one is the Plaza de la Familia foodie guide, basically, over in California Adventure.
Yeah. So this is I love this restaurant. There's something about this restaurant that every time we eat there, it's like delicious. They rotate the menu out depending on like what's happening at the park at that point. So right now it's still a Paradise Garden Grill, but it's being transformed into Plaza de la Familia. So for the new items that you can enjoy back there, there's an achiote half chicken, which is a roasted marinated chicken served with Spanish rice, refried beans, and a like little salad. Look, it's like half a chicken. Look at that. That is a good portion.
That is
I mean,
a good
it's in the
portion.
name. It's the half chicken is in the name, but still, that's yeah.
They also have a loaded chicken quesadilla with achiote chicken and roasted peppers and onions topped with chipotle crema, guacamole, and pico de gallo. This looks really good.
This thing looks loaded. I I feel like this is a eat with a fork and knife quesadilla.
Oh, well, I mean,
because there's so many
if you're me,
sauces.
every quesadilla is an eat with a fork and knife.
There's so many sauces and toppings on this quesadilla that I think it'd be very probably messy to pick up and eat, but man, does it look delicious. There's also some returning items that we'll just go through real quickly. We have a carne asada wet burrito, a cheese quesadilla, street-style tacos, and then there's also Bañeos Bionico, which is fried tortilla chips coated in cinnamon and sugar. Yum! Loaded with fresh fruit, toasted coconut, and sweetened condensed banana milk.
This just looks really good, actually. The photo looks really good.
Like, refreshing, too, with all of that fresh fruit. Oh,
you know,
man.
this is gonna be there when we're there, so we could eat this.
This is happening. And then my favorite, I feel like this is full circle now that we talked about Disney weddings briefly in the news, the vanilla layer cake, which has the most boring name ever. But what it is, I call it the cocoa cake because it has a sugar skull on top of it and has, like, I don't know, it just reminds me of cocoa. But it has layers of multicolored cake with cinnamon mousse and sweet cream cheese filling. This, for all of you who may or may not know, is churro cake. And this was one of the wedding cake flavors we had at our Disney wedding.
And it's always good.
It's so good. Even if you're not a big, like, cinnamon person, it's a very, I feel it's a very subtle cinnamon flavor that's in it. It's very nice. They need a better name, though. We're not going to call it Teresa and Vern's wedding cake because not everybody would understand that. But I always feel like I need to get it because, like, that's the only way I can have a piece of my wedding cake again. And I don't know why they don't just call it churro cake.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, drinks that they have here is a pineapple pomegranate lemonade, which is non-alcoholic. They have an apple cider margarita, which is tequila, apple cider, and lime with cinnamon sugar rim. And then there is a fruity lemonade cocktail, which is tequila, pineapple, and pomegranate lemonade.
And then, as if we didn't talk about enough churros last week, over at Senior Buzz Churros and the churros near Goofy Sky School, you can get your own strawberry horchata churro, which is a classic churro rolled in horchata sugar, topped with horchata whipped cream, caramel sauce, and fresh strawberries. That also sounds...
I told producer Vern yesterday about all the churros, and he is very, very excited for all of this stuff. There's also a cocoa sipper that's available starting August 27th that you can find in both parks all over the place. There is a Dante sipper, which just looks amazing.
It's Dante in his Alebrije form. So he's like the bright, fun, colorful. This is great.
And this one is available starting September 10th. Limit 2 per person per transaction, no discount. And these are available also at a bunch of different locations. Yeah. So.
That's interesting. So the Cocoa Sipper and the Dante Sipper, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. Yeah. I would have assumed that they would have just been in DCA. So look at that. Very, very cool.
Surprise.
Yum. But in conclusion, lots of delicious foods coming for the upcoming Halloween holiday season. Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Teg and Teresa cover all things Disneyland, in the D180 we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. Let's jump right in. Wowie zowie, folks. I am starting this week in Disney's Hollywood Studios because I am so excited about what's coming. Disney has been beefing up this park for years, trying to add enough content to shake off its old reputation as a half-day park. Even so, some parts are just kind of hanging around, waiting for something interesting to happen. No longer, though. Okay, maybe a bit longer. If you have been to the park lately, you probably remember a concrete stretch with a bunch of strollers in it. Families love the Disney Junior show in this little courtyard. The retooled Little Mermaid show has been getting rave reviews since it reopened, but straight to the back of that courtyard is the Star Wars launch bay, and that is where our story begins. Or ends. On September 25th, 2025, the launch bay closes its doors to begin a transformation. True to the Hollywood theme, we're getting a look into the iconic Disney Animation Studios in Burbank. For those familiar with the Animation Academy at Disney's California Adventure, it's DCA's Animation Academy, but in a park where they once did animation on movies like Lilo and Stitch. There's a playground for kids. You can learn about animation. There's a Mickey Sorcerer hat just like park used to have, but the point is that it's on top of the animation building in Burbank. This is a big-time callback to Hollywood Studios and Disney MGM and the actual studio that gives us way more to do on the average day in this park. All right, we're off to the open seas with Disney Cruise Line. There is so much going on right now. The cruise line has a grand tradition of Broadway quality shows at sea, and right now Hercules is in rehearsals. So get your Phil Collins /90s Disney fix on multiple ships coming this November. All of these things are included on your trip to this island. Spend a relaxing time on the shores of all of these things are included on your reservation. Take some time and relax, while you're in the middle of a cruise where you could also take time and relax. But hey, it's a Disney cruise. Do you. Take whatever time you want and do whatever you want. It's pretty great. And speaking of Disney cruises, the Disney Destiny is nearing completion. Its stern is now adorned with a figure of Spider-Man fighting those pesky spider bots from the DCA attraction. And hey, what if you wanted to go on one of these cruises yourself? For trips between October 2025 through March 2026, select cruises are offering big discounts. I'm talking 50% off of your third and fourth guests in the same stateroom. That's right, you can pay for 4 for the price of 3. Take your kids, take your friends, take some random people you met on trivia night. If you are all staying in the same room, you can knock off half the cost for 2 people. Ask one of those smart concierge folks which cruises apply. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you would like to learn more about these Disney adventures or just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DLWeekly and Concierge. Then reach out to your personal travel planner, Teresa. She looks forward to planning something special for you and yours. That means your family, that means friends, that means those people you may have met at trivia night. All of them, whatever makes you want. Anyway, I'm Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
DL Weekly announces the boarding of the Trivia Express, non-stop star speeder service to the moon of Endor. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Hello there, and happy 400th episode to you all. Welcome to Trivia Land. What a day. What an honor.
What a day.
That
means you're going to go easy on us, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You gotta be careful. He has not told me anything. And he probably is.
As he shouldn't.
And he probably isn't doing this.
You honest.
But here's what I would have done if I was him.
Oh, no.
I would have done DL Weekly trivia for the past 400 episodes. What has James done for us, though, I wonder?
I have throwback questions for 3 of these.
Throwback questions.
So we're going to go back to episode 100, episode 300, and episode 199 because we didn't do trivia on episode 200.
Ooh,
okay.
What do we do on episode 200?
I don't know, but it's not in my trivia history.
Trivia,
Well,
something magical.
No history, anyways.
Yep. So we're going to do those. And then our last question, a sweet, sweet surprise to celebrate 400.
Oh, boy.
You have a sweet, sweet surprise?
Oh, it's glorious.
Does that mean we get like 100 bonus points or something?
Sure. We'll see how well your counting goes. But first, throwback number 1. Throwback to episode 100. When I did ask you 4 questions about the podcast and its running, but the question I'm grabbing for you, and like Therese asked, I'll be nice to you. What was the day you two launched the podcast together?
Oh, I know this one.
No, I'm so bad at this.
September 20th.
2017.
The reason Teresa knows 2017 is because it's part of our password for the computer.
No, that also was not my favorite year. That was a great thing that happened that year, but that was not a great year for me personally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. 1 question down. Question 2. A question you both got wrong on episode 199.
Oh, wonderful.
And I expect you will do that again. But this one, courtesy of Liberty M. Where are the 4 hidden Mickeys on Pinocchio's Daring Adventure?
Oh, boy. There's one in the popcorn.
Yep.
On the floor. That's the only one I ever seem to remember is the popcorn.
Because I remember it every time I go on it. I'm like, I'm looking for the popcorn.
But it's weird because it's like backwards and like behind you.
Yeah.
There's one weird one in Geppetto's shop. It's like itty bitty, I think. It's like on top of a ship display. I don't remember if it's like a ship in a bottle or if it's like a photo with a ship. But is that close enough to?
That is descriptive enough that if you are close, I will give you points, and if not, I will just save you from having to say more.
Popcorn. I'm going to say ship.
I'm just going to take a guess. I'm sure this is wrong, but I'm sure one of the locks that appears in the thing maybe is a Mickey head.
You think a lock?
I don't know, like a lock hole, like the hole in the lock.
Sure. Is there something in the room that Stromboli's in? Are 3 of the cages aligned? So if you're under them, I'm going to say that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Stromboli cages.
That's a good one. Good answer. Good answer. It's like Family Feud.
Family Feud.
There's what? There's something in the Pleasure Island area. I don't know if they're like. There's something with like balls. I don't know if they're like candy.
Oh,
like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is specific. Like I can't remember specifically if it's candy or what it is. It's not. It's close-ish. It's a food thing. It's close-ish to where the popcorn is. I don't know. I'm going to say candy.
You said that, and do you know what popped in my head? Do you know what popped in my head? I had a visual in my head of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And then I realized the picture that I had in my head was not of that attraction. The picture I had in my head were the balls in Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway that they have.
Wrong
Yeah.
attraction. Type.
Exactly.
Wrong attraction. The only other one that I could think maybe is if there's something in the pool room.
Well, you've already given some answers.
I know. We'll go. I'm going to call it candy. I don't know what it is, though.
Is that good enough for government work?
Good enough for me.
Okay.
I am happy with those answers.
I'm going to say the popcorn, a lock. I'll go with your candy and cages, too.
Excellent. All right. Question 3, a throwback to episode 300, where producer Vern asked you, what was the first attraction to use the Omnimover system?
Oh, Omnimover?
Yeah, so it wasn't Haunted Mansion.
No, because it was Adventure Through Inner Space.
Yeah.
A fun thing.
Oh, wait.
Dang it.
Wait.
What?
Or was it Adventure Through Inner Space, or was it? Did they develop that for one of the World's Fair attractions?
You can answer whatever you want. I'm locked in at Adventure Through Inner Space.
But didn't they use the Omnimover system as something for the 64, 65 World's Fair? That was the people. They used the People Mover. They used a boat. Maybe it was the People Mover I was thinking of. Yeah, I'll Adventure Through Inner Space. I'll stick with that one too.
You'll hop on my Atom Mobile?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could have experienced this attraction.
I just wonder if that's on your mind, because for our supporters in Discord, their trivia question as we're recording from Community Manager Kate is about Adventures Through Inner Space. So, interesting.
I haven't seen that question yet.
Oh, well, I just gave everyone what I think the answer is.
Well, there you go.
I'm not going to say if it's right or not, but that's my guess.
I haven't been in Discord a lot today because producer James and I were pulling a tree stump out of our backyard, and cleaning gutters. So that was most of my day.
Yes.
2, 3 questions.
Trivia Land, way more fun.
Okay.
Speaking of fun, question 4. In honor of your 400th episode, I have 5 things that are numerically rated, rounded to the nearest 5. Together, they total 400. So you have a goal, but I need you to give me the individual number that's related. So, the 5 things I'm looking for. The typical cost for an adult Mickey ear headband.
Mickey ear headband.
The number
pause for a second.
5.
Pause.
Mickey ear headband, because they're like 16 for the band, and then how much for each of the different things?
It's like rounded to the nearest.
Rounded to the nearest 5.
Are we rounding up or just to the nearest 5?
Nearest 5.
Oh no! I think they're 34.
Okay, so 35 sounds right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You were at headband next to that. Okay.
The number of countries represented in It's a Small World.
Oh man! Okay, we got.
There's got to be something with a large number later, because so far we're at 35 plus however many countries.
So we've got. Let's think. In the beginning, I'm trying to think what, like, the frozen area. What, Norway? What
Antarctica? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what that is.
I know like London's in there. I know like Germany's in there.
London is a city.
Oh, sorry. The UK.
England. Okay, hang on. We got to back up. I feel like I got to do it in order. Otherwise.
We were talking about this earlier. Teresa has to do it in order.
Do it in order. Okay, so.
Tag, this is your time. You could start singing the song.
Maybe like Antarctica?
Yeah, but that has to be in episode 401.
Ah, that's right.
Antarctica, I think there's a sign in there that says North Pole, so.
North Pole? Does that count?
Canada is just in that
Canada.
little thing. I love that little guy. He's so good. Okay, and then after that...
The Mountie?
Yeah. And then after that, you've got... Oh, no. France. I know France is there. You've got England. You've got Ireland. You've got Scotland.
You got the UK, because that's where Peter Pan's
UK.
flying around.
You've got India.
That's later.
Yeah. Okay.
See, your order's not working anymore.
I'm out of order already.
Yep, so...
Spain.
You did Italy, right?
Spain, because you've got...
Yep. You did Italy already, right?
I don't remember. Holland, because I like the ducks and the little guys clicking their shoes together. Mexico. China, Japan. Australia.
What do you call like the underwater scene?
Polynesian.
Because that's like Hawaii, but that's the United States.
Yeah, but there's also like maybe like
There's the
Tasmania
hulas.
and stuff.
Yeah.
America.
Yep. What are we up to 12?
No, this is 10. There's 13.
13?
Should we round to 20?
You think 20? Sure, 20. Okay.
All right, next.
All the nations of the world, but mostly America. No, wrong ride.
The height of the Matterhorn bobsleds attraction.
159 feet, because I think
So
100.
160.
I think 149 feet. Because it's 1
Hang on,
foot.
we can come back to that because remember we just have to equal 400. So.
Yeah, because it's 1 foot less than they would have to put a blinking light on it. And the castle's like 100 and...
Maybe that's our next question. Just wait.
Okay.
Maybe. But no, an estimate of the number of animatronics on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, we've had this as a question too.
I think you have.
It's
It's like 100 and something, wasn't it?
dang it. Do you know what's even worse? I think we have this, and I think I may have even known it at that moment we had it because I just had read or seen something. 125?
Yeah. James is making a face and shaking his head.
And the last one.
Well, hold on. Before you even say it,
Okay.
let's add up what we have and see what the last number would be. And then we should say that. And then you should say what it is. And then we can see how wrong we
I
are.
love where this is going.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, do your math.
285, 305,
160.
70. 370 is what we have. So that would mean 100.
340 is
What?
35, 20, 160, 125.
Okay. 340. So 340 is what we have, which means that we have it has to equal
60.
400.
Has to equal 400.
The next-
Sure.
So the next one is 60.
60. According to the website thrillData.com, the average wait time for Tiana's Bayou Adventure over the past month.
That seems legit.
That doesn't sound bad. We'll go 60 minutes.
I feel pretty okay.
All right. Any numbers you want to change? Flex around.
No, I
we're
think
going to
we're-
overthink it if we
Yeah,
start
no, we're
changing
okay.
things.
That's a good point. But good news for you listeners at home. You got a whole discussion topic to overthink all of this and really kind of get through what you think the answers are or answers to questions you've listened to before. But we'll get to the answers again, or for the first time, however you want to do it, after we celebrate 400 some more.
Your body is brilliant. Nature's Bounty has a bounty of solutions to help you thrive, supporting your systems from your head to your heels. Nature's Bounty High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate supports heart, bone, nerve, and muscle health, while just one hair growth capsule a day helps grow thicker, fuller hair. Delicious new Nature's Bounty Probiotic Gummies contain prebiotics and postbiotics, supporting gut health, regularity, and immune health. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Learn more at naturesbounty.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Well, this week for our discussion topic, it's not really a discussion topic in a traditional way, but we asked for your feedback about the last 400 episodes, something that you liked or enjoyed, or just something you had nice to say about the podcast. Basically, just giving us some feedback that we could share to bring the community. And there is a theme of a lot of community stuff listed in here as well. So I think we're going to get started off with a voicemail. And this voicemail is from Donna.
Hi, this is Donna from California. Happy anniversary. Been listening for at least 5 or 6 years
Wow.
and love the live shows. Also the trivia. Thanks so much. Congratulations and have a great day. Bye.
Wow. Thank you, Donna, for being a listener for multiple years.
I think this is Donna who sends in trivia, too.
Could be. It could be. We don't have a last initial.
Don't
but
have a last initial.
if Donna, if you're our Donna trivia person, you send in some stumpers, let me tell you. But that's so great. I'm so happy that trivia and the live episodes, which how fitting that today is a live stream for our supporters as we're listening and going through all this fun feedback. What a fun accidental full circle moment. I love it.
Yeah, and it was funny because I don't know why I thought we were going to be closer to our actual anniversary, which is in September. You know how numbers and everything work. There's not an even number. So our first email that we have was from Steve H. And actually, I know Steve H. because he's been a supporter for forever. So he wrote in and said, I started listening to DL Weekly back in 2019 when I was looking for some good Disney podcasts to listen to on my way to work. I was skeptical at first that folks that live in the Midwest and don't go to the park every week can know much about what's going on in the park, but you two are the best two people to present Disneyland news. You have great, happy personalities and are always positive. You must not be listening when I'm talking, but he definitely listens when you talk. I've enjoyed listening to and supporting the podcast all these years. One of the most memorable events to me was when you were all trying to cook some Disneyland foods in the kitchen. That was really fun. As far as guest episodes, I really enjoyed Philander, Jared Mariyama, to name a couple. I hope you guys keep going as long as you can and hopefully meet you in person one day at the park. Congratulations, Steve. We hope we meet you in the park someday, too.
I love that you brought up. So during the pandemic, we did a couple, I think they were we did them as bonus episodes. And one of them was we were trying to create Disney magic for ourselves at home. And so we found some copycat parks recipes. In that episode, if you are a supporter, it is on our Patreon. Ridiculous though, because it was Ronto wraps. We were trying to make Ronto wraps, and Tag is taking this cast iron frying pan, and we didn't have what do you call that? A meat tenderizer?
Yeah.
We didn't have that. So Tag's got this frying pan, so he's got his inner Rapunzel going on here.
We got a text message from our neighbor asking what was going on over there when all of this was happening. So that's how loud it was. And I remember we're live streaming this right now, and there's people. Yeah. So if you're a supporter, go back and look for that because that's definitely on there.
It's worth the laugh for sure.
But we've also made churros. We also made what else did we make?
I don't remember. Dole
We've
Whip.
made some stuff at your place.
We made Dole Whip.
Yeah.
We didn't film some of that stuff. So I made Walt chilies, but we didn't do a video.
Yeah.
Now that we have our fancy camera that we were talking about before, we could maybe bring back the cooking.
If you're gonna edit it, I'll put it on the podcast.
All right. Well, our next voicemail is from Eric.
Hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Eric, here from Las Vegas. Love hearing you guys, especially during work. I always save you guys to the end of my week, and always brings my weekend to a close when I hear you both. So happy 400th. I've been with you for a very long time. You guys, like I said, yours are once a week, and all the political stuff and all the other stuff that I listen to, Raiders and other podcasts like Disorder, I do listen to them, but yours the one that I love holding on to the end. Also, happy birthday, Teresa. Want to make sure, and very much would like to say thank you to both, also all four. Teresa, Tag, Vern and James for bringing such a beautiful podcast. Anyways, favorite memory, and this one has to be the most favorite one, and I wish Tag would just open up the whole thing. But yeah, the trip around Disneyland was one of the best things during COVID. It just, it was sad seeing Disneyland close, but understandably the situation we were in. But that one alone was the best of the best of the best. The second one, I would say the interview with Disney Chris. I got to give him his flowers, and knowing that his music was having all that beautiful music there at your hands. And I love, when I talk to customers or people about Disneyland, and I mentioned Disney Chris and also you guys, love mentioning both of you guys. I think, I love hearing SnackChat. It always makes me hungry. Always thought Disneyland could do better in their food, and they're definitely upgraded. Back in the day when I'm a 90s kid, so growing up with the older rides, that's one thing I wish they would do. I saw that they have some kind of POV. I would love to see for Captain EO, especially Captain EO, to come back. That was one ride I used to love going to. Of course, Country Bear and also America Sings. I'd like to say thank you again. You guys keep doing what you're doing, and, thank you.
Well,
Wow.
thanks, Eric, for listening for so long.
That's amazing. And he even remembered like my birthday within there.
Yeah.
Because as you guys have probably realized, July is a very big month for DL Weekly, and actually just the summertime months are a big deal for us. So July specifically, because my birthday's in the beginning of July. Of course, Disneyland's birthday's in the middle of July, and then Tag's birthday is at the end of July. But then the fun keeps going because James's birthday is the end of June, and Vern's birthday is the beginning of August. So we just have like 3 fun-filled, celebration-packed months back to back to back. Sorry, got off topic there. But Eric, thank you so much for listening, and I just love that, like, we're the favorite, so he saves the best for last for all of his podcast listening each week. So that's so cool. And thank you for letting people you meet that are also Disney fans know about DL Weekly so they can join in on the fun too.
So what he was talking about was, if you're a supporter, if you go way back to April 13th, 2020 on Patreon, there was a bonus episode that was a full-length audio tour of Disneyland, and it is 5 hours long. So it is me and Teresa doing the public tour. So we did a couple episodes. We did an audio tour of Disneyland on episode 126.
Yeah, we pretended like we were walking around the park.
Yeah. We need to do an updated one at some point because
Bugs Land's not there.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that's changed. And then we also did a tour of California Adventure. I don't see what episode that one was on right this second, but we did that. And then what I did was I edited together the full tour. I used some music from Disney Chris, and I put the entire full track from each of the different music that we played in there. So during COVID, if you wanted 5 hours of just us walking around the park, seemingly
faux
walking around the park,
yeah.
And then with the music that accompanies it, that is that episode. So that is way back. And just to be clear, you had to be a annual pass holder, which is the $5 a month level or above, to get that. So if you do go back to look for that, and maybe in the future, maybe if we make an updated one, maybe I'll put this on the public feed. But
I think we had issues though, since it's got Disney music and it was too long, so we had to do it. We had to be creative with how we could release that one.
So anyway, but it was a lot of fun, and we had a good time doing it. I remember telling you about it. I'm like, we should walk around like we're pretending to see everything, and we're like, oh, look over there.
I remember
it's
thinking,
this.
I'm like, huh? Was
But people
anybody
loved it.
going to be interested in that? But I was
There
wrong.
you go.
I was wrong. Well, next up we have an email from Cooper C. Cooper says, I've been listening to you guys since 2019. I remember being bored in my room, missing Disneyland because we had just got back from a trip. So I went to the podcast app and searched for some Disney podcasts, and your podcast was the first one to pop up. Since then, I've been following you guys and listening to your podcast every week. I'm now a sophomore in college, all the way in Nebraska, and your podcast always brings a little Disney magic to me. Thank you guys so much for keeping me updated on all things Disneyland when I'm not physically in the parks. That is wild to think about that. Like, Cooper found us when he was what did he say? No, he's a sophomore now, but he found us and has went all through high school and probably part of middle school listening to us, and is now in college. That's so cool. Sorry.
Also, I believe Cooper C is the one who's been sending trivia questions in recently. I think last week we even had a trivia question from Cooper C.
Dang.
So I'm glad that I thought it was funny that you said you remember being bored in your room after you just got back from Disneyland. You were missing Disneyland.
He had the Disneyland blues tag. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, and I'm so glad that you were able to find us and have enjoyed us for so long.
And have stuck with us since 2019.
So we've got a double feature here
Yes.
from a listener. I'll play the voicemail first, and then I'll read the email we got from the same listener.
I love this.
Ted and Teresa! I am your hugest Disney fan. I am 11 years old, and I cannot believe that 400 episodes. Wow. In the future, I hope you can do a merch land segment or merch kingdom, whatever.
A merch
and
land.
You have reached. Bye.
And that was followed up with an email from Ezekiel. I want to hear an interview from Provost Park Pass.
Great idea.
Vlogger Chris on the show. And he wants me to sing It's a Small World over and over again on episode 401 as part of the discussion topic. Ezekiel, I hate to tell you this, but we've already recorded the next 2 episodes' interviews, and there wasn't really a good spot to sing It's a Small World.
Take no time like the present.
Anyway, let's move on. We have a voicemail.
Ezekiel, thank you so much for you have such enthusiasm, and you can just tell that you have such a deep love and passion for Disneyland. The excitement in your voice leaving that voicemail was just amazing. I love the idea that we need to do a little bit more construction and add a merch land to our ever-growing landscape, our ever-growing park map. How do you want to call that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. That's so fun. And great idea. You're right. We should invite Chris from Provost Park Pass to come on the show to talk about
awesome.
His awesome adventures.
Yeah.
We enjoy watching him, so yeah. I love it.
He's got a lot of cool energy, and I do enjoy him. He's one of the...
Very positive, too.
If I had to pick, 3 YouTubers that I enjoy their Disneyland content, it would be Provost Park Pass. It would be, obviously, David from Fresh Bake, because we talk about him all the time. I love the construction updates. And I really like Ordinary Adventures when they get around to Disneyland. But they've been traveling a lot of other places right now, which I also really enjoy. In fact, James and I earlier were talking about prepping for next week. We'll be in Epic Universe, and we need to watch their Epic Universe video again and see if we need to make a better plan. So, but thank you, Ezekiel. Also, thank you to, was it Ezekiel's mom that sent in? Because you didn't leave a name in the voicemail, so we didn't know, but we got a message in Instagram. So thank you for that. All right. So if anybody has ever attended a hangout or a book club, this next voice will be very familiar to you. This one comes from longtime supporter Lee.
And community member Lee.
And community member Lee.
Hello, this is Lee Suggs, and I'm calling because your 400 episode is happening. And what I wanted to say was that I discovered DLWeekly when the COVID epidemic was happening, and it was a welcome place to talk about Disneyland. We couldn't go to Disneyland, and it was really important to me at that time because I wasn't working. I was doing remote learning with students. It was very frustrating, and it provided a way to connect with people and to do something that was positive in a very unpleasant time. Today, I think that the podcast and the Discord server is important because it gives us a place to come together without the politics and the negativity that's so prevalent in the world today. And I think that the podcast and the community is important because it doesn't matter where we're coming from in terms of political point of view or whatever. It's a way to talk to a whole lot of different people and to be able to not worry about the things that divide so much and just unify over our love for Disney and Disneyland and be able to share in that way. And I think that's something that's missing in the world today, that there isn't a whole lot of that. And so I think that that's why the podcast is so important. And I congratulate you on 400 episodes and hope there's 400 more. And I am thrilled that I get to be a part of the community. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lee. Lee is one of the large amount of people that I think started listening to the podcast and supporting the podcast during the COVID pandemic time. And it was a really important thing. So some of the stuff that I remember from that period were we would stream every week our episode, just the audio, into our Discord server. We would do, it's kind of where the episode streams started on Tuesday, which we still do. This one is one of those episodes right now that's being streamed to our supporters. We started doing a lot more hangouts and stuff.
Yeah, because we used to do, which is what we currently do, is once a month we would do a live stream of the episode for supporters. But we opened it up that every week we stream just the audio portion, not the video, and it just really became a really nice place for people to still be able to connect with others. We could, we were all kind of going through interesting different things, but we all had the same love for Disneyland, and it was kind of a like our own little version of a happy place, right?
It was a good place for everybody to get together and get their Disney itch scratched, if you will, during the pandemic when like the park was closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even after the park was even after like a lot of things started opening, but Disneyland itself was still closed. So yeah, I think it was really great.
What else did we do? We did like movie nights during that time.
Mm-hmm.
We had all sorts of different like fun virtual hangouts and virtual get-togethers that we had, and I think it was a light at the end of the tunnel for ourselves as well as other people, and just something positive to kind of look forward to, even though everything was kind of topsy-turvy at that time.
But I also think we'll hear this as we go on through some of the feedback we've gotten, but the best thing that's come out of this whole podcast is just the community of people that have come from it. So all these people who have emailed in and left voicemails, the people who are in our Discord chat, who have come to a meetup, for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to do any of that, like just the fact that you're listening, I don't know. I think we have like one of the best like little corners of the internet of people getting together to just be, everybody's positive and we all love Disneyland and it's just great. And we're so happy to have it turned into this because it wasn't 400 episodes in. Like we didn't, Teresa always tells it. She didn't think anybody would listen. And when we first got a supporter, she thought like they must have typoed.
No, when we got our first $10 supporter, I genuinely wanted, I know I've said this many times, but I genuinely wanted to reach out to that person. And I did tell that person, because they were a supporter for many years, that I like very much felt that they had maybe added an extra zero by mistake, and surely they did not mean to support us at the $10 level and probably meant to only do $1. So I was just beside myself. But anyways, we have so many more emails and voicemails to get through. So next up, we have Donna L., who perfectly timed also talks about the community, so we can keep talking about our like thoughts with that. But anyways, from Donna L., congratulations on 400 episodes. That's amazing. I found DL Weekly during the pandemic and became a supporter. The weekly podcast brings me joy every time I listen. TNT and the producers do a great job. The community is wonderful, and I've made some very dear friends through it. I've taken several trips with my DL Weekly gals and look forward to so many more. That is the other super amazing cool thing. First of all, thank you so much, Donna, for being a listener. She has been she also does all sorts of fun pixie dusting things within our digital community and in the Discord chat. But something that's so cool is there's kind of this little core group of people that all met through their shared enjoyment of listening to DL Weekly and through the community. And they now go on, like she said, little like girls' weekend trips together. I think that's so fun that there's communities within the larger community now too, and that people are making like real friendships with people and not just like, oh, these are my friends, that I talk to on the internet. Nope, they're actually going and hanging out and enjoying and experience the parks together. I think that is so, so cool.
I totally agree. And the first time somebody told us that this was something that came out of this for them, I was shocked. And it really became like, I think for both of us, like, we didn't intend this. Like, literally, we've talked about it a lot of times. We sat down to we like talking about Disneyland. So we're like, why not make a podcast about it? It'll be a great excuse for us to get together and hang out and talk about one of our favorite places. And maybe somebody will listen. And the fact that everybody got together and there's this whole community and everything is just wonderful. So, yeah, we couldn't have asked for anything better. Our next voicemail is from Richard.
Hey, Tag and Teresa, I want to thank you for having me on your show a few years ago. I hope my information helped a lot of people guide their newborns through Disneyland. And in a couple of years, I'll probably be calling you how to guide your teenager through Disneyland. But something tells me it's going to be a longer show and it's probably easier to handle a newborn. Nonetheless, congratulations on 400 shows, and here's to 400 more. Congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations.
I love it. We're seeing a trend. A lot of people are like, congratulations to 400 and 400 more. So we got at least 8 more years in us, right, Tig? At least.
We'll have to see. I had a conversation one time with Teresa about, I don't know, it was a while ago now. And I was like, how long do you think we should do this? And she's like, I don't think we'll ever stop. And I'm like, well, I don't know about never stopping.
Forever. But we're going to be in like the retirement home still recording.
Anyway, let's continue on.
So anyways, yeah. Thank you so much, Richard. We actually had to look up because we're like, oh my gosh, that's right. We did have that episode. That was episode, what was it, like 64 or 67? So that
I think it was 67.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. And we have met Richard's little one. And yeah, she's grown up along with the podcast, and it's just amazing. We first met Richard in 2019, and his little one was just like a little baby at that point. Now she's like this awesome little human, and we got to go watch Paint the Night with her last time that we were in the parks. Anyways, but thank you so much for your support over the years, for coming to hangouts when we have them in person and spending time with us enjoying the park. It's just very, very cool.
Yeah. And for a while, we hadn't seen Richard in a lot of things, and his wife, Katya, and their daughter.
Because life happens,
And
right?
life happens. And so I was like, I wonder what happened. And then the last couple trips, they've been around. So good that you're still around. We appreciate it. Our next email is from Catherine. Congrats to all you on your 400th episode. I can't quite remember when I started listening to the podcast, but I remember being at the Plaza Inn with my family one night having dinner, and who should I notice walking by but Teresa? I was so excited to see you in person. I'm usually a very introverted and shy person, but I called out to you. You were so friendly and even invited me over to your table to meet Tag. You both were so sweet, and it made my day to get to see the people I listen to every week. Congrats again. I remember this because I'm like eating, and I'm like, who is this?
You're like, Teresa found a friend. What happened? I don't even remember what I was doing. Like, if I don't remember why I was away from the table.
I think you went to get silverware
something.
or napkins
I don't remember exactly. But yes, I remember this. I remember meeting you, Catherine, and that was so fun. And yeah, that's one of the best parts about this podcast. You've probably all figured out a theme. We're not even hardly through the stuff, but the best parts is the people. Like the people we get to meet with listeners, and meeting you in the park and getting to hang out and spend time and see you. Because right now we're talking to a camera because this is a live stream, but it's just a wall. We're talking to a wall whenever we're recording this podcast. So it's always amazing to get to connect with listeners, especially in the parks, because we're getting to see you in our shared happy places. So it's just magical. So thank you. If you ever have seen us in the park and you've stopped us to say hello, please know that means so much to us. I mean, the fact that we both remember this specific interaction as well is just so cool. So
also, if you've seen us in the park and not come over to us, never feel afraid to come over and talk to us. We are more than happy to say hello and hang out. And a lot of times, we'll, if you're interested, we'll take a photo or we'll ride an attraction together. There's all those types of things. So don't feel like you're impeding or anything like that.
Next up, we have a voicemail from Jill.
Hi, this is Jill M. And I wanted to congratulate you guys on your 400th episode and to tell you that you guys have brought such joy to my life. If it weren't for you, I don't know if I would have gotten through the pandemic unscarred. I wanted to leave a memory or kind of a couple memories, even though I am queen of the falling in the canoes. The memory I have is from, I hadn't been on Discord for very long or been with the community, which the community is amazing. And I got to do the Pixar round table, and I was petrified. You guys made it so easy and just so nice to do. And I just appreciate you both, and producers James and Vern as well. And I'm glad that I've been able to touch base with you on multiple occasions. And at this point, I kind of consider you to be friends now. So in other words, congrats and many, many, many more episodes.
We're friends,
love
Jill.
That we're definitely friends, Jill. We have been so fortunate to get to hang out with Jill in the park multiple occasions. I've seen her at the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet twice now. So it's been very cool that so many of our trips have kind of overlapped, and we've got Oogie Boogie Bash at one point too. We got to experience that with you too. So we gotta talk about the canoes because she talked about that. I think, Jill, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That may have been one of the first times that we had met you, and we decided that we all were going to go take a trip around the rivers of America. One of the best ways you can do so in the canoes. If you've never done the canoes, you got to do the canoes. You do have to power it though. So fair warning, you don't just get to sit there with your oar. No. You have to paddle. But poor Jill stepped down into the canoe, and I don't know what exactly happened, but kind of sat down and like lost her footing, lost her balance, whatever, and had a little tumble in the boat. Everything was fine. She wasn't hurt. In fact, she was laughing hysterically. But the best part was
I went to make fun of her, and I was trying to show somebody
nicely, like all in jest.
Yeah, like, here's what she just did. Look how silly it was. And then I lost my footing and fell. So I literally did the exact same thing.
Dominoes in the canoes.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Jill, another thing that let's just say Jill and her iPad. The very first time that she ever joined a hangout, I remember that she had never, we didn't know who she was. And her iPad was like, wasn't it like her son's iPad 24 or something? And we're like, we don't know who this is. Anyway, it was great. And so I'm glad that we know who Jill is and got all that down.
So many fun memories. Yes. Well, next up, we have an email from Andy M. Congrats on 400 episodes, TNT. It seems like just yesterday I was listening to you theorize what might be coming to Galaxy's Edge. We're still waiting on that Bantha ride. And how Rose Gold, oh my gosh, I remember that, was taking over the park merch. Thanks for letting me be a small part of the fun, and here's to 400 more. Hashtag bring back the people mover. Hashtag save Teresa's trees.
Hashtag save Teresa's trees has become like a thing with some people.
Because it's important. Where did
this come from?
But my love of the trees.
No, I'm people like who don't know.
The Disneyland Lorax. I get very upset when people
speak for the Disneyland trees.
Yeah, I get very upset with Disney when they have to take out and remove trees or planters. That's one of the things that's wonderful about Disneyland is all the green spaces.
Yeah.
I don't remember if the beginning was Project Stardust.
Wasn't it when they...
I really was having a hard time with the Pirates trees. I think it may have been before
I have a photo of Teresa in Marceline, Missouri, hugging the new...
There's also a photo of me hugging the Pirates tree.
Yeah, we got trees. I've got multiple pictures of Teresa hugging trees.
So for those of you that don't know, Andy M adds so much pixie dust and magic to every one of your episodes. Andy does all of the wonderful character voice work that is all of our cool and fun themed transitions. It's all Andy. He's just a super supporter of the podcast and lends his amazing talent for us to use and comes up with all sorts of fun ideas. And
he's a madman.
Yeah, he's so great. So thank you, Andy, for being such a big part of DL Weekly and for supporting us in such cool and unique ways. Never did we think we would have a voice act, like a legit professional voice actor doing such fun, cool stuff to enhance the show.
And it's so funny because, like...
Yes, and right now we have in our live chat, Andy's amazing, Andy's a rock star. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
What's so funny about Andy is we'll just... Teresa and I'll get a random, like, group message on Discord, and he'll be like...
He's inspired.
I was inspired today. Here's like 5 transitions if you want to listen to them. Mm-hmm. And we'll be like, what? And then we'll listen to them and we'll be like, these are great. And then he sends them to our editor and she throws them into the rotation. So just to be clear, we also had Eric, who does the Concierge D180 for us. He was like the voice of DL Weekly for a long time. And then we kind of went with a different type of transition. And then Andy was like, I'd like to do some of these things because he was also on the podcast. Because he was on the podcast.
Some, really great stories.
On episode 179. So if you want to listen to him talk about his story, 179.
Your body is brilliant. Nature's Bounty has a bounty of solutions to help you thrive, supporting your systems from your head to your heels. Nature's Bounty High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate supports heart, bone, nerve, and muscle health, while just 1 hair growth capsule a day helps grow thicker, fuller hair. Delicious new Nature's Bounty Probiotic Gummies contain prebiotics and postbiotics, supporting gut health, regularity, and immune health. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Learn more at naturesbounty.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All right, the next voicemail is from Bill, who we got to meet at the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet.
Hey, Teg and Teresa, it's Bill from Everett, Washington. I just wanted to comment on my favorite episode that y'all have had. And I have to say now, after this last week, Pacific Northwest Mouse Meetup, I'd have to say anytime you guys are talking about that, because I didn't know about it, and it was such a great event, and I'm glad that you guys had Dawn on and talked about it. It truly was a great event, and meeting you, and it was such a great event. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Bill. It was great meeting you at the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet.
And thank you for hanging out and coming to our mini Mouse Meet DL Weekly meetup. I don't know if that wasn't the official, the meetup for the meetup. But yeah, it was so fun. That's another cool thing too that has happened with the podcast is we've gotten to learn about all of these really cool fan events, and we've gotten to go and experience them firsthand, and then it's completely our pleasure that we then get to talk about them on the podcast to let everyone else know about how wonderful and amazing they are, so you guys can go check them out too. And then bonus, we may even run into you there, because that's what us Disney fans do. We go do all the fun things and have these cool fun shared experiences, but magic, just pure magic. So thank you so much, Bill.
Another email from Russell C. In desperate need of some Disneyland magic and happiness in the midst of the monotony and gloom of the pandemic living, DL Weekly provided an essential service to Disneyland fans like me. I discovered your amazing podcast one Wednesday evening during my daily basement workout ritual. It was evident from my first listen that Teresa and Tig exemplify all the best things about Walt's original park. Positivity, inclusivity, a sense of wonder, detail-oriented, and forward-thinking. As a Canadian neighbor and friend, I would argue that these attributes are also many of the best things about America, the country that Walt Disney so passionately loved. And while I only get to visit Disneyland every 2 or 3 years, your weekly updates allow me to escape the uncertainty and chaos of these tumultuous times, not to mention my deadlifts and chest presses, as I virtually sip cold brews with Teresa and learn new fun facts thanks to Tig's vast knowledge. Bravo to your entire team for the first 400 episodes. Wishing you all a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Thank you, Russell.
Oh, Russell, that was so nice. That's the other, again, that's another thing that we never thought was, we never kind of thought about when we set out to do DL Weekly, but it really has become kind of like a virtual, kind of like what Disneyland is, like escape from reality and just a happy place.
Yeah.
Free from drama and, there's still Disney drama, but free from your normal, daily drama and the drama of the outside world. Maybe there's stuff going on in your life that's not so great with, maybe it's your family, your job, or anything. And it just, we never really realized, but we really think it's so special how the podcast has kind of become a break from all that and kind of a little bit of a mental escape to kind of help you reset and get a little more, I don't know,
magic
a way to, I feel like we've used the word magic and pixie dust maybe too much, but anyways,
Disney does.
Just to kind of sprinkle in a little, an extra spoonful of sugar or something in your day. I just think that's so cool. So thank you very much for your very, very kind words, Russell.
We have spent a lot of energy especially in our Discord community, which is where we know most people from, trying to make sure that it's a safe space, that when things get hairy or whatever, we have community managers in there that are great. Shout out to all the people who have been community managers over the years. Kate, she's like the OG community manager.
She's been a community manager since the start of community managers.
We had Priscilla, I think, was a community, or she did social media for us.
Priscilla did social media.
We had Liberty, who is a community manager.
Liberty. We had Freya,
who is a
currently
community manager.
We have
Olivia. So thank you to all the people. We have people that were part of the welcoming committee that we came up with, which was Jill and Deanne and people like that. And I'm sure there's people that I'm missing that Alex was
did
doing
social media with us for a while.
Yeah. So there's a ton of people in the community.
Oh, and Alex was a community manager for a brief
That's
stint
true.
To fill in.
So go listen to his podcast. Him and another person actually who met through our podcast. They created their own podcast, the Swigging Wake podcast, which is all about Haunted Mansion. So our next voicemail is from Jenny.
Hi, my name is Jenny Lou, I have been a DLWeekly listener for probably close to 4 years now. I can't pinpoint one certain thing or episode that stands out because they're all great. I think just in general, my favorite thing about your guys' podcast is you are always so informative and always have all of the latest up-to-date information that's going on around the Disneyland parks and surrounding, Walt Disney World and other parks as well. But I just love how you guys are always so informative. I feel like I don't ever have to look for information anywhere else. I can just chime in to my weekly podcast with you guys, and I can be up to date with everything that's going on around the parks, and I'm super appreciative of that as it helps me out a lot when I am planning out my future trips. Peg and Teresa are the best. This is hands down the best Disneyland podcast out there, and I can't wait to hear more from you guys.
We hear that specific compliment that we are the best Disneyland podcast out there. We've heard a lot. I don't know what we're doing that's so great, but I'm glad that everybody feels that way.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of, you all know that we live in the Midwest, and if you didn't, now you know. So we aren't able to make it to the parks as often as we wish we could. We're not in there weekly or daily like some folks are able to do. But what we like to do is, I guess this kind of DL Weekly kind of stemmed from us just being interested in looking at all these different places for the news. And it was kind of one of those like, hey, we could just like kind of filter this down, take some time, because since these are things that we're just plugged into now, and even more so now because of the podcast, it's just part of like the daily thing for us to stay up to date on these things. Is we have all sorts of wonderful resources that we use. All of the links are always available in our show notes to where we're getting this information from. But since we've been doing this, we've kind of been able to be kind of like a filter, if you will. All of this information is available to anyone if they go, look online. But over the years, we've figured out the best places to kind of find this information that's the most reputable, the most accurate, and that sort of thing. So that it's not like what we're doing is like something, it's not secret. It's something that anyone can do, but it makes a huge difference because it does take a lot of time to go through all those places to kind of then filter through to then give you a consolidated version of the news and updates every week in the podcast. And then one of my favorite parts is the discussion topic. I often, when I'm talking to people about coming on the show, I talk to them about how I feel like it's kind of like the heart of the show because the discussion topic's evergreen. Obviously, the news is constantly changing. It's funny. If you want good laughs, you can go back to some of those are like double-digit episodes, even like episodes in the hundreds, and hear about like what big thing was happening that like was the big thing of the whatever.
Well,
and then
Rose Gold, we just talked
Rose
about.
Gold, yeah. Then suddenly like it didn't happen. Like the Eastern Gateway Project, we talk about that so much.
The
and
hotel.
it never happened. The hotel that never happened. Yeah. So it's fun to kind of go back. Obviously, it doesn't make any difference now because it's in the past, but it's interesting to kind of go back. But the thing that's really neat is how we're getting to capture all these stories through the discussion topic, whether it's deep dives of history or it's the awesome people that come on to take some time out of their day to do an interview with us and share their memories and stories of their Disney space, whether it's for the parks or for the company or whatever. So anyways, thank you so much, Jenny, for your super kind words and for calling in and leaving that wonderful voicemail. Well, next up, we have an email from Eric, who says, my best memory has been the first episode I listened to. You had the guest who went on that very private, the guest that went on a very private adventure by Disney and Nat Geo on that private plane. I was hooked with the captivating interview, great news and updates, all the snack foods. To this day, your podcast makes me smile at work and bring some weekly magic. Thank you for all you do. He's referring to Josie and her incredible around the world adventure that she got to go on.
Yeah, that was a great one. That still has the record for interview length. I think we spoke to Josie for like 3.5, almost 4 hours.
It was an epic
there was
trip.
So much. I mean, you know how much we talk about one day at Disneyland, and when we go to these things like the Mouse Meet or the Disneyana or whatever. My goodness, it's just insane how much we did. I think it ended up being a few episodes.
Let's see. So the first episode with Josie was episode 311.
Okay.
And So she went on this epic 24-day adventure that literally took her around the world and hit all of the Disney theme parks, plus some other just big things, sites around the world to see. It's kind of almost like if Soarin' was an actual like itinerary, but then you threw in Disney parks as well. Like that was almost what it was. I want to say
it was just 311 and 312. It was just the 2 episodes.
Oh, I
they
thought
were just long.
I was going to say I thought for sure it was at least a 3-episode one,
Nope.
but really, really great, very unique thing. And Josie, we actually met her at one of the fun, kind of more fan, non-Disney company specific events. We met her in Marceline, Missouri at the Dreaming Tree Gala. So,
And James and I unexpectedly ran into her on the Disney Dream last year, or the year before last. Crazy.
It's a small Disney world. Next up is a voicemail from Taylor.
Hi, Zach and Teresa. This is Taylor from Salem, Oregon, and I just wanted to say how much that my daughters and I and my mom, we all enjoy listening to your podcast. We listen to it on our walks. We save them up for long car trips. Some of our favorites are trivia and just having special guests come on and tell about their personal stories from Disneyland. We just love listening to you guys and getting all the updates. We are a once-a-year family that goes when we're super lucky, and so we just love getting all the updates and hearing you guys get so excited about talking about the parks because we get so excited about listening about the parks. So thanks so much for all you do, and we will just continue listening to your amazing podcast. Thanks. Have a great day.
Well, thank you for that, Taylor. We're so glad that you share this with your family. We've heard from lots of people who listen to our podcast that they do it together as a family when they're on car trips or when they're preparing for a trip or sometimes when they're literally driving to the parks, this kind of thing. So it's great to hear that. I'm so glad that you like the different segments and stuff that we've done and the guests that we've had on because we've also enjoyed all of that stuff.
It really helps make the podcast special. And I just always feel so honored when people trust us with their stories and their memories and that we get to be the ones to kind of help share those things and preserve those as well. Because some of the people I think of that's just crazy is like Joan, who was the original Peter Pan. Like, what an incredible story that may have been lost to history because, she hasn't like done anything like write a book or, anything like that. Because that's just, those are big things to do. So, but it's important. All of these stories are important. So I just love that we can help keep the magic alive.
100%. An email from Paige N. My favorite part of the show each week is the trivia commentary. My favorite memory that I have is when someone asked what traditional rooms are not included in the Haunted Mansion, and Teresa said the living room. It made me laugh really hard.
That, what was great about that? That was like a legit answer, and then I realized the ridiculousness of a living room being in the Haunted Mansion. I just love it.
Oh, because dead living.
Yeah, because right, it's just the happy haunts live in that home. Why do they need a living room?
I don't think I ever thought about that because, like, when I hear the word living room, I don't think of the words separately. I think of just like the place.
Oh, sure. It was like that's one of the fun things. You just never know what weird puns we come up with on purpose or not. Most of the time, they're accidental puns, which makes them even more.
There was some
ridiculous
things early on that made me think about this. So there were times. What did I say? There was a bunch of stuff that I said.
We had
that was
weird
goofy.
stuff that we used to say. Like what I say, I was trying to say pointing fingers, but I said throwing fingers. Tag had this fun thing where when he was editing, he'd pull all of those weird little blooper things out and like keep all these little clips of
stupid things
ridiculous
we've said.
Like what happened there?
We don't really do that much anymore. I feel like our big problem now is we like stumble over our words.
I think back then too, I know I was anyways a little bit more nervous and in my head about stuff. So I think I was overthinking, which then really didn't help things. And now I've let it go.
What was the squeaks one? Because there was actually it's actually out there if you search for it.
That's me. That's how I am with the dogs.
I think we were recording and like I went to go to the bathroom or something.
Could've been.
And you were just singing into the recording.
Yeah, could have been. One of the dogs was playing with a toy and it was squeaking, and so I made my own version of All About That bass, but made it all about that squeaks. I don't know. That's just something that I do in normal life, and now it's out there for the world.
That's okay. That's just how it is. We have a voicemail from Ryan, who I just want to say we met Ryan at the D23 Expo, and it was so funny because he was the most trusting individual because we're like, hey, do you want to go? We're going to go to the Disney outlet or the cast member store. You want to go with us? He's like, sure.
Company D. That's
Company
like
D. He's like, sure. I'm
and
like,
he just
literally
came.
just
he
met
just
us.
Came with us. It was, and then we were in the car and we were laughing. We were like, wow, this is an interesting community, and like the fact that we're strangers but not strangers, and we're totally okay with all. Like it was just, it was funny.
Yeah.
Hi, Tag and Teresa. It's Ryan from Vancouver, Canada. Want to wish you congratulations on your 400th episode. I think one of the best things that has come out of your podcast is the great community that you have built and the people that are around you. I was a long-time listener for a couple of years before I joined the Discord community and the Patreon, and I've met some people that I now call friends. I've had the pleasure of meeting both Tag and Teresa in the parks, spending some time with them there and at D23 this past summer. It's a great community you've built, and it's nice to know that there's so many Disney fans out there that are just as warm and welcoming and happy as I would hope that any Disney fan would be. And I look forward to the next 400 episodes. Congratulations.
Aw, thanks, Ryan. You were very polite and didn't share the ridiculous story of us kind of sort of abducting you to go to Company D to go shopping. I mean, right? Everyone's like, you're a true Disney fan.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait, discounted merch? Yes. Where's your car?
We don't even know you. I will also say that like something that comes up quite often is when we're talking with people that we're doing an interview on, we'll talk for a good like hour and a half, and we finish the interview and we just keep talking.
Yeah.
And I feel like we always mention that like that's what happens when Disney people get together. They will just talk forever. There's something we have in the Midwest called the Midwest Goodbye, which is like you say goodbye and then
nobody
like
really knows when to like actually leave.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So I feel like Disney people all Midwest goodbye.
Yeah, but it's a different version. It's like the Disney goodbye, right?
Right.
It's kind of like when you're at the parks. It's hard to like take that final step like out when it's like the last time, the last day of the trip or whatever.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. Well, we have an email from Eric. Last January, I fulfilled my dream of running the Walt Disney World Marathon. Dang, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, earlier in the year, during my race, to submit my proof of time, DL Weekly powered me through the race. Trivia Land even added some pixie dust to the race by what do we say about how we don't have
We've
issues
jinxed
talking?
ourselves.
Yeah.
We're almost done. We only got a few
I know,
left.
that's what it is. Trivia Land even added some pixie dust to the race by reading my one and only submitted question. That's awesome. I couldn't believe it. Thank you for being a wonderful thought that allowed me to fly through not only the finish line, but also through the time between Disney trips. You all are awesome.
Well, Eric, congratulations for doing the Walt Disney World Marathon. Teresa and Vern have done.
No. Vern has
Vern
done.
did. But you were there, is what I mean.
I was there. Yes, I went on the trip. Fun fact, I even registered for that marathon, and that was a very expensive shirt that I now own because I did not train for it. So, Eric, that is a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. Vern has said how running in a Disney race is unlike anything else. If you're a serious runner, this may not be the place because you're not going to get a PR here. It's all about just like fun, right? You've got character stops and DJs and all sorts of fun Disney magic around every corner. So that's just incredible that we got to be kind of part of that just by being what you were listening to while you were training and all that stuff. Amazing. So huge congratulations to you for that major accomplishment.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a voicemail from Matt.
Hello, DL Weekly, and happy 400th. This is Matt in Nebraska, and one of my favorite things about DL Weekly is, of course, producer Vern, because of his churro news updates, and I think they're crucial to all fans. I wrote a book of poetry that is basically about Disneyland churros. I mean, there's a couple other things, but mainly churros. And so I appreciate Vern keeping us all updated, especially us in the Midwest. Also, another highlight was, of course, meeting up with Tag and Teresa in Marceline, Missouri, the glorious little spot here nearby. But again, happy 400.
That's awesome. We were very happy and had Matt come on and talk about his poetry book on Disneyland back on episode 231. And yeah, we've like Matt mentioned, we got to meet him in Marceline, which is such a magical place in its own right. If you've never been, we highly, highly, highly recommend.
Matt is also one of the most generous, kind people we've ever met as well, because in Marceline, it was really awesome to meet him, but also like he's kept in touch with us and we've seen him a couple times, and like he's always so thrilled to see us. When we were in Marceline, it was after he had been on the podcast, I want to say. And he was like, let me go introduce you to these people, and like took us on over, and they're like, these people are great. And so that's how we ended up getting some people from that event, and it's just wonderful. Same thing with, there was no voicemail or anything from him, but Rick Law also is one of those people that we had on the podcast, and every time we run into him is like so genuinely happy to like see us and welcome us to whatever. We've seen him at Walt's Barn, we've seen him at Disneyana events, we've seen him, I feel like, everywhere. And he's also been really great. So awesome. And I also played this for Vern, and Vern was very happy about this voicemail.
I need to quick shout out, if you're curious about Matt's poetry book. It's called At the Corner of Fantasy and Maine, Disneyland, Midlife, and Churros. But yeah, it's a poetry book about Disneyland. And so it's very, very well done. I am not a poetry person, but I really enjoyed the poems that were in there. And listen to that episode where he talks about some of the poems and kind of where they came from and what, maybe it was a personal story or a memory of something that happened to him that kind of helped generate the idea or was the inspiration for certain poems. But it's a really, really wonderful read.
Yes, it totally is. Our next email is from Monica. Congratulations on your 400th episode. I love listening to all four of you. My family only gets to Disneyland every other year, so it's fun feeling connected and like I'm there more often with all of your content. I love learning about Disneyland history and trivia. My favorite episodes are with cast members who love the park, like Philander and Chris. Thanks for all you do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Sorry, I can see the order, and I just love that one of Monica's favorite people to be on the show was Chris, who was a former ambassador at the Walt Disney World Resort. But he is just another amazing person that we've gotten to meet through the podcast. The next email, though, is from Chris's sister. So I'm sure maybe you did this on purpose and like lined them up together, but I'm going to pretend that it was
Who's to say?
Just fate or whatever. But Monica, thank you so much for sharing us with your family. That's another thing that we kind of never really thought about was who, we knew that Disney fans would be listening to us, but we never thought about like age ranges. And so it's really kind of neat that DL Weekly has become not only a fun place for Disney adults like ourselves, but also for Disney families to kind of relive and enjoy the magic when we're away from the park. So thank you so much. And yeah, Disney history and trivia, you are definitely one of our people. Well, next up, we have an email from Wendy, who, again, like I said, is actually the sister of Chris, who Monica really enjoyed the episode with. So Wendy says, in early 2024, I had never listened to a podcast and was thinking I should, but didn't know where to start. Soon after, my brother told me that he was going to be on a podcast if I was interested. The podcast, DL Weekly episodes 323 and 324 with former ambassador Christopher.
Pause for 1 second. I just want to say, Wendy, thank you. So we didn't have to go look this up. You put it right in there.
You did some of our work for us, Wendy. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was blown away not only by hearing my brother on the show and rehearing about his amazing ambassador experiences, but also by the whole DL Weekly show. I was hooked. I had grown up going to Walt Disney World. My first trip was in 1973, and Disney was huge in my life, but I had gotten away from my passion after my husband died, and my life took some different turns. DL Weekly helped to bring me back, and I fell in love with Disneyland. I met Tag and Teresa on my first Disneyland trip last August, and they were just as friendly as they seemed on the show. Since then, I've been back to Disneyland 3 more times and have my Oogie Boogie ticket for October. Wendy, we'll have to connect. Maybe you're going to be there the same. We're going in October too. I've listened now back as far as Teresa's wedding, awesome episode 227, and plan to go back to the beginning. My favorite guest, besides Christopher, was Terry Hardin. She's so inspiring. I enjoy everything about the podcast as well, the Discord chats. I'm also listening to all the Hub Crawl episodes and would love to be on it someday. Tag.
Yep.
Make a note. You guys are all terrific. I hope to see you again and meet James and Vern someday as well.
So when we met Wendy, it was Chris's mom. Chris and Wendy's mom was also there.
Yeah, it was Chris, his son.
Yeah.
Wendy, and then Wendy and Chris's mom.
Yeah. And I don't know. Apparently, I'm great with the moms or something, because she loved me, and like we were, I don't know, like I spent a lot of time talking with her, and they like afterwards they were like, she just loved you, and I was like, well, that's great. She was a lovely woman. It was very hot, I remember, and I felt bad because she was struggling a little bit with the heat, but the whole family was just amazing. And what was so funny is we were there during the D23 Expo, and we're just walking along talking to Chris, and all of a sudden Chris is like, he just disappears. We're like, what happened? And he ran over because
he spotted Jody Benson.
And he's like, hi, Jody. Like, he like knew, like, I don't know. He just knows everybody and was just chit-chatting with. I was like, no, nothing. It was just crazy. And Wendy, I'm so glad that we were able to meet you, and you've been in the chat.
I think we watched Magic Happens together. I think that was the first thing we did, and then we rode some attractions and then bumped into each other. I think maybe it was the next day or something. Yeah. It was just so fun. I just thank you so much for your very kind and thoughtful email, and that's such a personal story about how, Disney, you had stuff come up in your life with the passing of your husband. And I mean, of course, Disney could have, gotten out of your life because you just had so many other things going on. So that's so beautiful how this chance meeting that we met your brother in Marceline, Missouri. And then he was awesome enough to come sit with us during dinner, and we got to know each other, and we're like, hey, we have this podcast, you should be on. And like how that one little spark just kind of rippled out into rippled out into all of this. And like, now you went to Disneyland for the first time in 2024, and you've now been like almost a handful of times. Like you go almost as more than we do, which is amazing. So that's just so cool. So I'm so happy to hear that Disney is a big part of your life, and that you've learned the joys of Disneyland since you were an original Walt Disney World gal.
Yeah. Our next voicemail is from community manager Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia Sands. I am one of the community managers for DL Weekly. Tag and Teresa and James and Vern, congratulations on 400 amazing episodes. More than anything, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the entertainment, for the friendship, and for the community you've built. Obviously, I love the Disneyland updates and all of the fun news and amazing interviews that you all have shared. But more than anything, I am so grateful for the amazing people I have met through this podcast and in this community, and none of that would be possible without you all. So thank you for your time, your effort, your energy, your enthusiasm. I feel so thankful to have all four of you in my life and to have so many amazing weekly cheers around me as well. So cheers to 400 episodes. Here's to 4 billion more. And thanks for all you do. And yay, Disney.
I don't think we'll live long enough to do 4 billion more.
4 billion. That's a tall order.
We'd have to do a bunch per day. A billion's a lot.
Yeah,
so
that is a lot. I love it. I love your optimism, Olivia. I love it.
Also, thank you, Olivia, because Olivia was kind. We were going to take the public transit from the airport to the mouse meet. And Olivia's like, no, you're not. I'm coming to pick you up. And what do you want for food? I'll bring you food. And
she brought
we paid for it.
She brought me coffee one day too. Yeah. She was like our own little
fairy godmother.
Tinkerbell.
Yeah, there you go.
You were both. You were fairy godmother and Tinkerbell all at the same time.
So
thank you, Olivia. We feel so fortunate that Disney brought us to know all of everyone that we've met, because it's one of those crazy things that if it weren't for the podcast, like I just think of that sometimes. Like if you didn't convince me to start on this wild and crazy journey.
I didn't really convince you. I asked you and you were like,
if
sure.
If you didn't invite me on this wild and crazy journey, like how different our lives would be, how many people that we have, how many friendships and relationships and people we've connected with because of this podcast would have never happened. The Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, we would have probably maybe never heard of that. Yeah. Or like Disneyana or the Dreaming Tree Gala and all these things that we like plan trips around to go like do and experience, and all these like cool things happening at the parks, because we were plugged in before, but it's deeper.
Yeah.
It's much deeper now. So it's just it's really crazy. So anyways, thank you, Olivia, for all of your support of the community, especially now that you're a bigger part of the community, being a community manager.
Yes, definitely. By the way, I just want to say, like, I did not think, I thought I was going to have to convince Teresa to do the podcast because I told James, I said, I don't know, I'm going to ask her. I don't know if she'll want to do it or not. She probably won't want to do it. And then it was funny because you were like, sure. And then I was like,
I didn't even think about it.
yeah, I was like, what? And then I think you said sure. And then you were probably, as we started getting into like the nuts and bolts, you were probably like,
uh-oh,
what is happening here? Our final email is from Deanne, who is part of our welcoming committee. She's our very own Tinkerbell, and I'm sure she'll love us saying that. Take it, Teresa. Congratulations on 400 episodes. Thank you for all your time and hard work you put into the podcast each week. And thank you to James and Vern and everyone else that is part of the DL Weekly team. It's truly the best Disney podcast. There have been so many amazing guests, terrific Disneyland updates, Disneyland news, deep dives into the history, trivia, food, laughter, and just plain fun throughout the 400 episodes that I can't pick out a favorite memory. I can say that what I love most is the community that you have created. When I started listening around the 20th episode in early 2018, I would never have believed that I would make so many lifelong friends that share my love for Disney. The Discord chat for supporters, the YouTube live streams, Zoom hangouts, the meetups have all been fun times. I'm so thankful that I found your podcast and became a supporter. Last but not least, I just want to say it's been so much fun getting to know both of you over the years and becoming friends. It has brought me such joy and happiness, and you've got a friend in me.
Aww.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to the next 400 episodes, Deanne.
Deanne, that was so sweet and so kind. Deanne is another one of our community members that we have been very fortunate to have many trips overlap with dates. So we've gotten to hang out and spend lots of time in the park, go on all sorts of attractions and have so much fun. Same thing, Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. We saw her this last time at the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. She was at the first one that I went to.
Looking like a vampire.
Yeah, Deanne's been such also just like a cheerleader for the community. She's very welcoming. I hope, Deanne, you don't mind me sharing this story, but when you first joined, you kind of were a little nervous about the technology and weren't, used, like, the Discord thing was kind of foreign to you.
Well, if you remember, she said, I don't do social media.
Yeah.
I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't have an Instagram. But somehow I ended up here.
Yeah, and you just, like, embraced it, and you've kind of become a champion to make sure that other people within the community that you like are like, if I can do it, you can do it. And you're just like this fun little cheerleader to really try to help ensure that people feel comfortable and welcome when they're in there. Hence why you were part of our welcoming committee that we need to like re-bring back.
Yeah.
Because that we had it, and then I don't know what happened, and we need to revive. We need to revive the welcoming committee. But yes, anyways. So thank you, Deanne, for everything that you bring and all the positivity and pixie dust. Because you're like real life Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is her absolute favorite, and she even like acts like Tinkerbell, and she's
sometimes
a shorter stature too. So it's just very fitting. But anyways, thank you, Deanne, for all you do for us as well.
I also want to say a special thank you to both Jill and Deanne, because when we do meetups in the park, sometimes we have producers James and Vern there, and they do a very good job because there's only two of us, me and Teresa, and everybody wants to talk to us, and they love talking to Vern and James too, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But, people want to talk to us as well, and sometimes, especially when James and Vern aren't there, it's difficult for us. We don't want to stop a conversation we're having with someone to greet somebody who's come up, and sometimes people feel nervous or shy or whatever. And the last couple meetups we've had where Jill and Deanne have been there, they've done a really excellent job of welcoming them into the group, making sure they get a name tag so we all know who each other's are, because I don't know about Teresa's not as bad as I am, but I am terrible at remembering names. And just being so welcoming and being a part of the community and doing that without even really being asked. They just did it.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that, because that is a really important thing. So people don't feel like, well, I've got 10 minutes, I got to leave and whatever. Like, they communicate that, and then they can communicate that to us, and it's just a little bit easier. Also, just a big thank you, just to wrap this up, a big thank you to anybody and everybody who has ever done anything for the podcast.
Whether it's listening, submitting feedback, rating us on iTunes or Spotify, taking the time to do these emails and send these voicemails in. If you're a current supporter on our Patreon, if you were a Patreon supporter and for whatever reason that's okay too. If you needed to stop support, we totally understand that, and we appreciate everything. Again, even just listening is just such a huge support, because again, without you all, we would look like crazy people, because we would just be talking to the wall in my attic.
We're still crazy people.
and yeah, so it's just one of those things that, like, without you, like DL Weekly wouldn't be what it is today, if that makes sense. So a huge thank you to all of you for supporting us and going with us on this wild ride.
Yes. And hopefully if you have listened to this whole episode and you are not actively like in the Discord or whatever, you've been hesitant, hopefully some of these testimonials can kind of break down those walls for you to come in and see what it's all about. We're very welcoming people. It doesn't have to be too intimidating. It's just great. And so we want to see and meet more of you and spend more time with you. And producer Vern, for the people who are watching the video, just showed up here. And everybody's been really happy with you and James and everybody.
Speaking of which, you just reminded me, we have a trip coming up in October. We need to plan our October trip meetup.
That's true.
More to come on that.
Yes. So
we should do that in October. You're right.
So everybody, thank you so much. It is a joy and an honor to be able to do this show for you every single week. If you guys didn't listen, we wouldn't be doing it. Also, the opportunity that you guys have given us because you listen to meet all the people that we've met, like
pinch me moments.
Yeah,
so many different
Terry
pinch me moments.
Harden, and we haven't had him on the show yet, but Bob Gurr and just everybody, Michael Vargo, just everybody. I'm sure I'm leaving off people, but just everybody. And the people who, when we were small, took a chance, like
Lynn Barron from the Sweep Spot. I remember when we had him on, he came on for our 50th episode, and you had...
Oh, starstruck.
Yeah, you were like starstruck because you had were a listener of the Sweep Spot. You had read his book. I think only the first one was out at that point.
Yeah, I think so.
And so anyways, that was just incredible. And we've gotten such a friendship with Lynn. He's subbed while you were gone doing your fun European adventures.
He's just such a nice guy.
He's just such a nice guy. He's been so kind to kind of help us meet new people that then eventually become guests on the show. Actually, because of Lynn, here you go. Here's a 5 degrees to Lynn from the Sweep Spot. Lynn introduced us to Russ, who wrote the book Seen Unseen Disneyland. He came on the podcast. Russ then
another
was
amazing guy.
Oh, you really need to meet Don. He puts on this, he's part of this really amazing event called the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. You need to meet Don. And that's look at that. There you go. That less than 5 degrees, because that was 3 degrees.
Yep.
So anyways, it's amazing that there's the Disney community, the Disney fan community is so vast, and there's so many people that love Disney, but it's also this really kind, tight-knit, wonderful space to be in. So we're just so fortunate that we get to be, that we got to be introduced to this side of the Disney fandom. And it's just, we've been doing this for 8 years, 400 episodes. I still have to remind myself that this is real and that we get to talk with these people and that we get to do all these things, because it's just unbelievable. So thank you guys for all of the love and support and everything that you've given us over the years. We really, really appreciate it. And we just, it's a labor of love. And we're just so happy that we're able to do this.
Well, if you enjoy listening to the show, which I hope you do, and you're listening on a great episode, there's 399 other episodes you can listen to. If you've enjoyed it, consider rating and reviewing the show on your podcast app of choice. It helps other Disney fans become weekly tiers and part of the community.
Some other thing that could be fun, too, if you didn't have a chance to either call in or write in something to celebrate the 400th episode, you could use a review as a way to kind of, you could leave a review in honor of the 400th episode.
Yeah.
As well, instead of, if you know what I mean. If you want to do both, awesome, but that would be another great place to let other people know how much you enjoy the show. So and I know we've already said it multiple times at this point, but thank you to everyone, really and truly, for all the kind and just genuine and positive things that you had to say about your feelings towards the show. This is just such a cool thing for us. We really appreciate all of the wonderful words and wonderful feedback. If you've ever left us a review on iTunes or on Spotify, we also look through all of those. So again, thank you everyone for taking time to do those things and to help spread the word on how fun you think DL Weekly is.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, Shell. My name Raymond, and I hope them answers are bigger and better than this here back porch I got attached to me. Don't you know Evangeline and I wish y'all the best of luck.
Well, welcome back to Trivia Land. I'm glad we can continue our 400th episode celebration and wrap it up.
I'm so curious.
And people are so excited because they love, as you just heard, trivia.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? It's so much fun. I'm glad.
Depends on the week sometimes, James. Depends on the week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's get your answers and see how well you did answering some of these questions again. Question number 1 from episode 100. I asked, what was the day you two launched this podcast together? Your answer, the correct answer, September 20th, 2017.
Woo! Good job, us.
Almost 8 years later, 400 episodes. Pretty good.
Wild.
Pretty consistent. Question 2 from episode 199, because we didn't do trivia on episode 200. Tragic. Where are the 4 hidden Mickeys on Pinocchio's daring adventure? They are depicted on the Pleasure Island gates in the loading zone.
The gates.
The popcorn Mickey in the popcorn machine.
That's one.
The popcorn Mickey on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the classic Mickey topping the ship. So, 2 out of those,
Good job,
4 for Teresa. Nice work.
Nice work.
Feel like there's missed opportunities with the cages and the candy, but
Yeah, I'm telling you.
that's okay. Awesome.
All right. Our third question, throwing back to episode 300. What was the first attraction to use the Omnimover system? You are both right again. Adventures Through Inner Space kicked that one off well before the Doom Buggies.
Good job you hopped in my vehicle.
Yeah, your Atomobile.
My Atommobile, yes.
Magnification.
And our final question, the challenging math question for episode 400. I have 5 items related to numbers that all add up together to 400 when you round them to the nearest 5, because that's easier. The 5 things I asked: typical cost for an adult Mickey ear headband, countries represented in It's a Small World, the height of the Matterhorn bobsleds, an estimate of the number of animatronics on Pirates of the Caribbean, and the average wait time for Tiana's Bayou Adventure over the past month, according to website thrilldata.com. Let's roll through some of these. The headband, average price, $34.99.
Boom.
Right on the money, you two. I was hoping you would get that one, Teresa.
Well, see, I was paying attention to the ear headband, the ones, because I was thinking about because I've been wanting to buy the ones that you can put the different characters on, but I couldn't remember. Anyway.
Countries of the world in It's a Small World. I found a really neat map online that had a lot of these listed out. I don't know if it was a Disney thing or not, and so it was fascinating. But it ended up being about 40 countries throughout.
Sorry, Small World.
So definitely, probably underestimated a lot.
Did you put that link in the answers that we can put in the show notes?
I will try to find that one again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you probably stumbled on a lot of the Polynesian and Oceania countries, as well as Africa's representation.
Oh yeah, Africa.
So
and Egypt, because you have the little thing.
Yep. So there's a lot of those in there.
We skipped that whole section.
We did.
Yeah. It was interesting too, because it has England and Scotland listed, but nowadays we look at them as United Kingdom as one whole country as well. So that's why we finagled to about 40.
Okay.
The height of the Matterhorn bobsleds attraction is 147 feet, rounded to 145. You think it's a little taller, and that's probably that forced perspective that's pushing it up there for you.
That's it.
We were almost right on that one, James.
You were.
Almost.
You
We
were.
were within 5 feet of the right answer.
Get ready to keep feeling
No,
it.
we weren't 15 feet of the radio.
Oh, 15 feet. Yeah, okay.
Yep. The estimated number of animatronics in Pirates is about 120.
Dang. I was pretty close on that, though.
Which means you stumbled into the right answer for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at 60 minutes.
Look at that.
So, not overthinking, it was
In spite
meant
of
to
ourselves,
be.
we still got there.
Yeah, you still managed to get 2 right and close on another one. I'm pretty impressed. I'm going to be really honest with you two.
us.
So,
see, we have a general idea of the park. We may not always know the specifics, but we have an idea.
That's funny.
You know, if you squint.
Yeah, you squint and tilt your head.
So, this gives me another 100 episodes to figure out what we're going to do for episode 500. But that means we got a lot of episodes in between for more trivia questions to get added in. Listeners, give us some good classics. Come up with creative ideas, whatever you got in your heads. Producer Vern and I love these innovative ideas and some of the classics that you come up with as well. You can just submit some trivia for us on our website at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Zidell for editing the podcast, and also to Andy Mack for all of our character transitions.
All weekly tears, prepare to be stepping out to your right.
There she goes. Your body is brilliant. Nature's Bounty has a bounty of solutions to help you thrive, supporting your systems from your head to your heels. Nature's Bounty High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate supports heart, bone, nerve, and muscle health, while just one hair growth capsule a day helps grow thicker, fuller hair. Delicious new Nature's Bounty Probiotic Gummies contain prebiotics and postbiotics, supporting gut health, regularity, and immune health. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Learn more at naturesbounty.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.